I'm more like, there is no way I'm gonna be at bedside forever. This is too much of risking myself, risking my life, risking my family's life. Hi guys, welcome back. Today we're gonna be talking about why nurses are leaving the bedside. There's been a lot of nurses leaving bedside, especially since the hype of COVID. And it's pretty bad because we're still in the middle of a pandemic. We're still going through it. There's still a lot of high rates of COVID, and it's leaving the floors very, very short.
So definitely a lot of nurses during COVID did retire or just left bedside, and it leaves us very exhausted. Like, I'm so tired every single day that I go to work. I'm mentally exhausted.
Yeah.
Like,
very
it's
exhausting.
So bad.
And then what it does is it creates a whole thing.
A cycle.
A cycle that just does not stop because nurses retiring. And yeah, if you could retire, retire.
Do it.
But nurses leaving, trying to find jobs that are not at bedside. And then like nurses on the floor is short, and then we get burnt out, and then we want to leave, and then it's just a whole cycle that continues and continues and continues. And it really, really sucks. I mean, even for me, after going through what we went through at the peak of COVID and everything, I'm more like, there is no way I'm going to be at bedside forever. This is too much of risking myself, risking my life, risking my family's life. Every single day I went to work. And yeah, you may say, you're a nurse, like you're risking yourself to other infections, but not COVID. Like,
COVID,
look how many, like,
something different. Like, there's so many nurses and healthcare workers that actually died because they were exposed, got it, and were on ventilators and just didn't make it. And so many other people, and we saw that, and it was so scary.
It is.
And it's like, because of that, like, I feel like sometimes, like, I want to be more appreciated, and I don't feel that way. I feel like the hospitals are not really helping us out in that sense, making us feel like appreciated and less burnt out. I feel exhausted. Every time we go to work, we realize that people are being floated left and right from our COVID unit, leaving us like 6 nurses on the floor, 1 PCA. Who's cleaning these patients? Who's feeding these patients? Who are checking vitals, I'm exhausted.
And what makes us really upset is that, listen, it's not like the pandemic just started. We could understand in last year, March, April, where like things got rough and it was like, we couldn't anticipate this. Nobody could anticipate this could happen. But at this point, the hospital had more than a year or about a year to kind of like adjust and be like, if this happens again, we got it. Like, you guys are set and we're gonna be good. But it doesn't really seem that way. And at this point, it's like, I don't know how they're trying to catch up because nurses are leaving. And at this point, somebody has to think, okay, how can we stop this? How can we prevent this? And it doesn't feel that way. It just feels like they're worried about other things maybe, or I don't know what it is, but we are still suffering. We're still there and just like dealing with it and still going to work, being burnt out. And listen, we've only been nurses for like almost 3 years. And how could we be feeling burnt out already?
Like, we're so young, and we see other nurses working there for like 30 plus years. And I'm like, how do you guys do this? And we're only 2 years in, almost 3 years in. And I'm just can't wait to figure out a way to get out.
Definitely one of the major reasons why when we speak to our colleagues and we speak to other nurses, why they're leaving bedside, it's more that there are little subtle things that make us feel like our lives are less valuable than others. For example, we'll get called like from a psychologist or something, and they're like, we want to speak to the patient. Can you set up a Zoom call for us with them? And it's like, that's so wrong. So I time myself, and when I have to go in the room, aside from emergencies, because that I can't control. And now you're telling me I have to go in and expose myself an extra time because you don't want to expose yourself and come on the unit to speak to the patient. It's not fair. And I understand that as a nurse, we eventually go in. But sometimes there are people, and there are doctors, and sometimes just like, not even a doctor, maybe another nurse that's doing something else, or maybe a pharmacist or something, that they ask us to go in a room at a specific time, and it's like, no, that's unfair. If you want to do your job and do it at a specific time, come to the unit.
And don't wait on us.
Or if you want, but if it's not a specific time, I'm more than happy to go and do that when I go in the room.
Not when you want me to go in the room.
But not everyone is like that.
And I feel like right now, because like, you know, as you mentioned that, it just feels that like, not only am I doing the nursing care aspect of, you know, caring for my patient, but I'm also doing the pharmacy job. I'm also doing social work to connect everything, everybody, the primary team, the social workers, anybody. We're connecting
food
these people.
Service.
Oh God, let's not even go there.
We have to now bring the food into the patient's room. And it's just like, I get it, right? It's not fair for one food service to have to go into a 34-bedded room and bring in the food. But it's fair for us.
Yeah, it's so fair.
We might not have to go in the room at that time, but now we do.
Even as silly as like, you know, the food service not being able to pass out the food, like that is so annoying. Like, can we just all do our job? Like, I'm doing mine and I'm doing more.
Yeah.
Can I just do mine and everybody does theirs? Because once that happens, I think I will be happy. Like this whole thing, like, oh, the nurse can go in. Like, no, we should all be able to go in. Yeah. We're all there to care for patients. Right.
But, you know, as nurses, you kind of figure out how to expose yourself the least amount as possible. So, you know, for me, I time my medication. I'm like, okay, I know I have to bring in the food at this time. But it's just like, why is it that other jobs, they're let off? Like, they don't have to expose themselves. They don't have to go into work with the fear that they're going to have to expose themselves to an actual COVID positive patient. And I understand that I signed up to, like, be a nurse, but I did not sign up to be exposed constantly to a virus that has killed thousands. For example, our hospital does have, like, a stress relief. It does have, like, you can talk to psychologists and stuff. But, like, you know, last time I spoke to them, I'm just like, the reason why I don't reach out is because I don't want to be reminded of work.
And also, nothing is being done.
Yeah.
It's like legit, like you're talking, you know, they're trying to be there for you, you know, to relieve stress and anxiety and things like that. But instead of trying to relieve our stress, like instead of trying to talk about our stress or being an outlet where we can vent, why don't you be that outlet to make a change for us?
Yeah.
Instead of just being an outlet to listen to our struggles.
Right.
Be an outlet to listen to them and then also make that change.
And right? We're just being brutally honest about the situation. We're just being transparent about it. Yeah. It's not that we hate our job, but we are very fed up with what's been going on lately and how they just think that it seems as though it's just the norm and we signed up to be in this environment forever. Like, how long are you gonna...
And that's the thing is, like, because of the situation that we're in and we're caring for patients that are COVID positive, there's no appreciation anywhere. Like, it's not like, you know, even a verbal thank you from, like, the administrators or anything would be suffice. But it's not, like, they don't even... they fight with us when it comes to, like, when we're trying to be like, hey, you know, we're 34-bedded room COVID patients. Like...
Yeah.
Like, why are you taking from us? Oh, because the other floor doesn't have. Okay, so figure that out from somewhere else, not from this unit.
Yeah.
I'm so frustrated.
Yeah. It's very hard, and I think the other reason why people are leaving bedside is just because, like, it's not worth our energy. In nursing, there's so much that you can do. Ultimately, there are some days where I'm so grateful that I'm still here, like, taking care of these patients. Yeah. And sometimes I'm like, you know what? Like, if it were my family member here, like, I would want a nurse like me that's attentive and there and making sure they're okay. And ultimately, it's not the patient's fault. Like, they're sick, they're just there and they're asking you for your help. And it's not their fault. And it's more like, I just want the administration to be held accountable for the changes that are going to make a pandemic or something like this happen. And it won't be as hard on the nurses or on hospital personnel in general.
Yeah.
So it's just frustrating. And guys, this was literally a video for us to vent and just be brutally honest with you guys about what's happening.
Thank you for listening to us venting.
It's crazy. But yeah, let us know what's happening in your institution. Maybe there's a better way that maybe we can help and, like, talk to upper management about what's working at other hospitals and what we can do to improve our situation in our hospital.
Yeah, maybe we can make a change.
Yeah.
Because this is ridiculous.
It's crazy.
And definitely subscribe to our channel.
Yes. All right, guys. Thank you guys for watching. And let us know what you think.
Yeah,
Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and follow our Instagram too.
Oh, yes.
I'd be posting crazy pictures about Natalie. Crazy pictures.
Yeah, demasiado. Tranquila.
Bye, guys.
Bye.